everyone. Morning, night, whatever time of day it is, where you are. I'm going to speak about what has been transpiring within society today, and it's been a heavy week, not only for myself, but for a lot of people. I'm going to speak about the injustice amongst Black people. As we already know, Rosa Parks and Martin Luther King were a civil rights leader who spoke on ending racism, segregation, and racial discrimination. And this happened many years ago, but here we are in 2020, still faced with such adversities. And it's really hard. It's been heavy on my heart, and I can't believe what has been happening within the past week or even the past years. Like civil rights leaders, Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks speaking many decades ago, but we still here, faced with such hurt, pain, and adversity, and I do not understand why we're still experiencing it. In recent news, George Floyd is the guy who stated he can't breathe, but the police officer still knelt down on his neck. And I'm just like, he's not resisting arrest, he's on the ground, he's helpless, and here you are applying pressure to his neck, right? While your other officers, fellow officers, just stand around like they're statues, not doing anything, not helping, not attempting to resolve the issue or attempt to do CPR. Eric Garner was another individual who said he can't breathe. Once again, officers stood around not doing anything. Ahmed, the guy who went for a jog, ended up dead. Trayvon Martin, who went to get a pack of Skittles but ended up dead. Sandra Blaine. Like these are a few, and there's many more Black people who died for no reason. We have white women who have falsified information. Susan Smith. Remember Susan Smith in the 90s? She claimed that a Black man drowned her kids when in fact it was her. We have Patricia, again, saying a Black man drowned her kids when in fact it was her. We have Amy Cooper saying a Black man was attacking her, when in fact the video shows that nobody was attacking her. She was attacking her own dog. Like, it's just mind-blowing that these issues still happen in the day and age we live in. And you want Black people to not be hurt and not to have pain and not say anything? It's not gonna happen, you know? So that's why whatever is happening in the States is happening, right? And it's just sad. Like today I was like crying because I'm just like, when is it gonna end? There's hate based on the color of my skin. The color of my skin, like it just sounds so crazy. So I just wanted to read something I received from my kids' school. It's from the Peel District School Board. And it says, this week has been a heavy week for many of us. Anti-Black racism across North America, nothing new. The Black community in Peel District School Board, our colleagues and students have been telling us for decades that anti-racism is a part of their daily lives. Why should racism be a part of our daily lives? Will Smith stated, racism is not getting worse, it's getting filmed. Can you imagine everything that happened back in the 1950s, 40s were filmed? And we see the significant weight and impact these events have had and continue to have on Black communities and other racialized individuals. And would like to acknowledge the hurt, the trauma, and pain caused by these recent events. The era of denial about anti-racism cannot persist any longer. If we learn anything from the series of events that happened this week, it's that anti-Black racism is lethal. It's not only, it's beyond lethal. It's like toxic, it's poison. Moreover, we all are responsible for the persistence of anti-racism by our actions and our inaction, and must intentionally interrupt and disrupt anti Black racism. To date, as a school board, we have not effectively addressed the Black racism. We acknowledge that we have been complicit in an anti-Black racism, and we are committed to doing anti-racism work today and going forward. The relentless acts of violence and disrespect inflicted upon Black people is very distressing, as these acts are compounded by centuries of physical, social, psychological anti-Black racism that has been normalized in our white supremacist society. Recovering and coping strategies for those who experience a traumatic event can be found here. And I am so happy that they acknowledge the situation, but moving forward, what's going to be implemented, what is going to be in place so that this doesn't happen? If it's been happening for centuries and centuries, that means nothing was ever addressed. It's been accepted as normal. It's like a woman being in an abusive relationship and saying, okay, just stay with your abuser. Just stay with it. It'll get better. How is it going to get better when the abuser or the abuser is continually doing the same thing over and over? You apologize. I'm sorry. I'll make you dinner. I'll get you a gift. Let me wrap up the gift. Okay. And give it to the person you're abusing. Okay. And once that fades out, what happens? It begins again. It's an ongoing cycle. Same thing with racism. It's an ongoing cycle. It's been happening from Martin Luther King days and Rosa Parks, but here we are in 2020, still dealing with an adversity that happened way back, and we still can't get it right. And I'm just dumbfounded how it's, like Will Smith said, it's not getting worse, but it's being filmed. Like it's just mind-boggling. I'm a nurse and I have experienced racism, and the response that I have gotten from superiors is just disgusting. You know, the person who said the racial slur, they wrote a letter. So here you go, Shirlene. Here's a letter. They apologize, so therefore it's better. No, it's not better. Because guess what? The person continues doing what they're doing. And what happens to me? I should be coming to work and work in an environment that's not abusive. I'm not being harassed, but that's not the fact. Because guess what? The superiors are not doing anything to rectify the behavior. They're not rectifying their own behavior. They're not acknowledging the pain and trauma that it's having on myself or other people who have experienced it. I've been punched in the face, and you know what I was told? Just one punch, Shirley? Like, so we're enabling bad behavior. Who says one punch? An abuser abuses you. Oh, just one punch, that's it? Like, who does that? And a lot of I'm just tired of hearing the same storyline, the same BS every day. The same thing. Just one punch. Oh, it'll get better. It's not going to get better if they're not adjusting their behavior. They're not changing their behavior. How's it going to get better? It's not going to get better unless acknowledgement is there. Acknowledgement has to start from the individual and from the superior, but that's not the case. So what is going to be done? What changes are going to be made? I have to question myself as a nurse. Should I even continue practicing as a nurse? Because if they're going to accept this racial slur and me being harassed and abused, and I'm not going to be impacted psychologically, they're wrong. They're wrong. Who wants to be at work and be abused? The cycle continues, you know, because they wrote a letter of an apology. And let's wrap up the apology letter and give it to her. And therefore it's resolved. No, it starts from the bottom all the way to the top. But if people are not rectifying their behavior, if they're not willing to change, the problem is still going to be there. Same with what's happening in society. You know, it's a behavior with these police officers. Nothing is changing. Their behavior is not being rectified. You get what I'm saying? If it was the other way around, and if it was a black man, the storyline would be different. You get what I'm saying? If it was a black man who shot a police officer, trust me, that individual will be dead. You get what I'm saying? So we have to change the way we think. If a person comes to you and they've experienced racial discrimination, don't say ignore that person. oh, it'll heal. Which doesn't make any sense. How's something going to heal when you keep on picking at it? You keep on picking at a wound, it's not going to get better. Trust me, it's going to get worse. So the same thing with racism. Don't tell a person it's going to get better when you're a part of the problem. You have to help it and change the dialogue. So that's what's happening. My kids shouldn't have to worry about going to school and dealing with racism and someone harassing me because the color of their skin. You get what I'm saying? Because they're shining and glistening in their brown skin. It makes no sense whatsoever. So we need acknowledgement, right? In the workplace, you shouldn't be harassed in the workplace. Wherever you go, we shouldn't have to worry. I feel helpless sometimes as a mom because, like, what do I do? What do I do as a mom? I'm protecting my little hens from the outside world, right? And it's just like, there's only so much I can do as a mom. I'm not at my kids' school when they're in school, right? That's not realistic, right? But what can we do as a society to change the dialogue? What are we doing? What are you doing to change? If you have any comments, suggestions, hit the subscribe button and put whatever is on your heart, because things have to change. We all have to make a change, and we have to make a change together. Thank you, and I just want to say thank you so much for your love and your support on the first video I did. Overwhelming love and support that was shown towards me, and I never expected it to be so amazing, so continue showing your support and your love, and let's make a change. Let's do something. Let's change the dialogue. Our response, don't say it'll get better. How's it gonna get better? You gotta make a change, and the change starts with you. Bye, and see you next time on Cheryl's in Motion.